I am bad at talking to camera, and I would like to get better at talking to camera. So this video is somewhat of a challenge to try and help me improve my skills in this area. This is not the first time I've recorded it. This is like take 3, I think. Not because I wasn't happy with the first 2 takes, but because my audio recorder has run out of battery twice now because I keep putting half-flat batteries in it. So hopefully this is the last take I have to do. It's very cold out here. So I also have a script with me that I'm going to be looking at to keep me on track. I'll explain more about that later. But I had the idea for this video when I was watching a video by Alex Ventura, I think is how that's pronounced, called Field Recording Basics, where he just goes over the basics of field recording. But he does it in a really interesting way. It's pretty much all one take. He doesn't really cut away or do multiple takes of things. And he stays on track, and the video is really clear, and he explains things really well. And I watched it and was like, that's great. I don't do that. I can't do that. And I'd like to be able to do that, and I'd like to be better at that. So that's why we're here today. I get very distracted when I record things to camera, and I seem to end up repeating things, and I just do too much talking. And given that my job is I'm a performer and a dancer, so I do talking to things, and I talk to camera for YouTube, I feel like it would be good if I was better at that. So that's what we're talking about today. And I thought about how is it that news anchors and people who have large YouTube channels, how are they so clear and concise when they talk to camera? And the answer is teleprompters. Pretty much any like TV news station or big channels like Linus Tech Tips, for example, he's reading off a teleprompter. It's just a screen that goes over your lens and you just read word for word what it says. And that's a skill in itself, but that's how people like that are able to stay on track so well. So taking inspiration from that, I don't have a teleprompter, but I did write a script for this video to try and see, is this a helpful tool that will help me stay on track better with my videos and help me in the edit process so that I don't have heaps and heaps of takes to go through and all of these things. And I thought about, well, is that good, or is scripting like unhelpful? Does it ruin the flow and the I don't know, the natural feeling of YouTube videos? This script is just dot points, by the way. It's not word for word or anything like that. So people like Casey Neistat and vloggers like that, they don't script and they talk about not scripting. At least I think I've seen Casey Neistat talk about that, and other people similar to him talk about, I never script because it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't keep the flow working. And so I thought about, okay, is scripting going to be good? Is it going to be beneficial? Is it going to be worse for my videos? Is it something that's going to help? And I just kind of went through this whole rabbit hole of thinking about creators that script, creators that don't. What point should you script? Should you script at the beginning? Should you script later on? And that's when it hit me. The problem that I have with talking to camera is not that I'm bad at talking to camera only, although it's always a skill that I can improve. The problem is structure. The problem is I don't know how to structure a YouTube video, or I don't know how I would like to structure YouTube videos. So that's what we're going to talk about. And I want to start with the first video that I made on this channel, which is pretty much just me talking to camera about all of the things that I had floating around in my head that day that I wanted to get out of my head and onto a camera, and then hoping to be able to share that. And it's fine. But the problem with that method is it's really hard to edit because, especially the way my brain works, there's lots of thoughts floating around everywhere and they're not really organized, and they come out not in an organized or cohesive fashion. And then when I get into editing, I'm trying to piece together some kind of linear story that makes sense out of that. And it takes forever, and it's hard work, and there must be a better way to do it. Because essentially what I'm doing there is brain dumping, right? And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, and that's the root of my problems, I think. So I made another video for this channel, which has not come out yet, and it won't because it's not a good video, and that's why we're talking about it. I was going to go through the process of buying extra camera gear for... I'm just making sure that that's still recording. Yes, it is. I don't want to do this again because it's very cold here. I was going through the process of what do I want to buy for my camera to rig it out more. And I recorded the first segment, was like a 20-minute long take of me talking to camera, explaining what I wanted the video to be about. And that didn't work because the video needed to just be about camera gear. It needed to not be me talking about the video that I would like to make. So it doesn't work to explain things at the beginning of a process, if that makes sense. When it comes to vlogs and things like that, you need I think I need a certain amount of exposition to explain what's going on at some point in the video, because I don't want them just to be, oh, this is day in my life. I want them to be more specific than that, right? I want them to be about something. And so you need exposition, but how are you going to know what needs to be explained in the moment when you're filming? You just won't. So I need to be able to get that across some other way later. And I don't want it to be a fully scripted video where it's just like a video essay, because I still enjoy that, you know, come along with me and here's the thing happening in the moment and the silly things like that. So what's the balance between that? What's the balance between just everything that's happening as it's happening with no exposition, or a video essay that's all exposition and nothing else? So I thought about how other creators do that I follow, and I thought about Before Death and Answer in Progress and Andyax and some of those channels, which I love, which are so good, especially Andyax. It's like my favorite channel on YouTube. Please go check them out. And what they do is, it's not that complicated or revolutionary, but it's something that I'd never consciously noticed until I started thinking about it. And I'm going to call it the documentary method, for whatever reason, because it's the first thing I thought of. Basically, they record something in the moment and then the exposition is recorded later. It's not revolutionary, but it's the first time I'd really noticed that. And then that stuff can be freeform or it can be scripted, but once you know what you need to explain, then you can do it later, I think. So what about this video then? Let me, I'll gotta fold my script over. So what about this video, right? This is about, it's not about something that's happened. This is about a concept. This is essentially, it's a brain dump, right? It's all the things that I was thinking about scripting and talking to camera and YouTube video scripting, not scripting, structuring. And so what I did instead was, instead of just turning the camera on and talking, I brain dumped, if you will, on paper or on Google Docs. And then I refined that into dot points, and now I'm presenting it to camera. And I think my dad is about to go past on his motorbike. So, in conclusion, when vlogging or recording videos that are about an event that has happened in the past, shoot first, explain later. Shoot what's happening, capture the moment, capture the energy. Don't explain anything that's going on, because you won't know what you'll need to explain anyway, and then record all of that later. It can be to camera, it can just be a voiceover. Do all those kind of things afterwards when you're deciding what the video is about. In videos like this, where it's more of a brain dump and it's more, I know what I want to talk about going into it, do all of that on paper first, create a script or a checklist or, you know, anything like that, like I'm using here, and then talk to camera. And I know that that's not really like the most helpful in terms of how to get better at talking to camera, but I think that's what I've realized is at the root of my struggles with this. That and like more practice, right? So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that makes sense. I would like to do more of this like documentary idea where it's a vlog, but it's about something. I'm working on a bigger video at the moment, which is kind of more about that. And that's actually why I'm making this video today, because I wanted to make the bigger video but it's not done yet. So this was a simpler one that's a little quicker to record because I want to release a little more frequently if I can. What else do I need to talk about? Yes. Also, I'm shooting on an anamorphic lens because I can, and it's cool. So if you want to hear more about that lens, I'm hoping to maybe make a video about that one day. And if you want to see that video about my gear, I guess you can check that out too, or like let me know that you want to hear about it, and maybe I'll make that video. But also, I feel like there's a lot of Sony FX30 videos on the internet, so I don't know what I'd be really adding, but maybe it's interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll leave a link to all the things. Go check out that field recording video. It's really good and much more concise than this one is, I'm sure. Definitely check out Andyax. They're masters of this kind of thing. In fact, I've had an idea to maybe make a video talking about one of their videos one day, but I don't know if that gets too much into just stealing other people's content. But I want to talk about it because I think it's really clever. But that's another thing. Anyway, that's the end of that. I don't know if this is going to be good. I don't feel like it's good. Me sitting here right now, it feels like I rambled all over the place, even though I had a script. But that is the point of the video, and that is the point of this channel, is to try things, even if I fail at them, to hopefully learn and get better. So, I hope you had a wonderful time being here. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you in whatever the next one. Check out the last video I made. We did a photo shoot in an abandoned, well, not really abandoned, but an old Navy base. It was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. All right. It's really cold. My hands are like freezing, so I'm going to go inside now. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Farewell.